Thank you. Yeah, so I wanted to talk a little bit about HPC briefly today, and definitely it does impact our life every day. You know, it's almost every aspect of our life. So from computer, you know, edit engineering, design your coffee maker, to the weather forecasting application for your daily weather forecast, drug, of course, discovery application that contribute to the COVID-19 vaccine. And I want to share a little bit my own experience. You know, I used to have startups, one in computer vision for autonomous vehicle and one in renewable energy. And the first one I did, you know, I was not familiar with the cloud and I was not familiar with HPC in the cloud. And we had on-premises, and we were very limited, you know, for what we wanted to achieve, and the cost, the money we were spending to accept new customer was really painful. And each time there was a new customer, it was months before we could really serve this customer. So when I sold this company and I created the renewable energy one, knowing that HPC, I learned about HPC, there's a software named WRF, which is very well known in the industry of weather forecasting. And it's almost impossible to have your own premises as a startup. And I moved to AWS. It's how I knew AWS, and it totally changed my life. You know, we save cost, agility. So that was very important. And here you can see with this slide that definitely HPC, that seems to be, you know, complex for some of the people, it's really in our everyday life. Next slide, please, Fouad. So one of the personal learning I had with my experience was really to say, you know, if I do HPC on my own premises, I have finite capacity, meaning that there's a fixed data center capacity limit that I cannot, you know, go over, or I need to procure new computers, I need to procure new GPUs, and I need really to spend times procuring instead of working. And on the left of this slide, you know, you can see that if you have a fixed capacity data center, definitely you will have queues, you will have engineering bottleneck, you will have to have up to date all the time, you know, GPU, CPU, memory, while if you move the HPC to the cloud, you have really this elasticity, this agility I was talking about. And definitely you have the last of the technology possible. And one of the elements, you know, one of the end goal is really, we want people to use HPC on AWS to be most productive scientists and engineering. And we don't want them, you know, to do any IT work. They need to spend times to do what they have to do, which is really the scientific project. And our aim is definitely not wasting any minutes. When we are seeing, you know, the COVID vaccine, and we had a lot of, you know, companies working on AWS cloud, it was definitely a point of proof that they were really not wasting any time, because there was no time to waste. So that's very important. And, you know, it's quite clear on this slide that you have this elasticity and agility again. Next slide, please. So, you know, we talk about HPC on the cloud, generic, but why on AWS? And one of the main elements that always, you know, put in front is this virtually unlimited infrastructure. So that's really something which is such a differentiation. You know, we are leader on what I'm claiming on next slide. I will tell you why I'm claiming that. We are leader in this industry. We were the founder, I may say, of the cloud, and HPC has always been part of what we wanted to achieve. And if you are limited, you know, to a size of your cluster, sometimes you need 100 instances and sometimes you need 1,000. And in the industry, you know, some of the people, they can think about it and say, yeah, but I will evolve. But in the university world, definitely that's a big plus, because you will need 100 to one day, and then you will need maybe 1,000 another day, and then 50. And you will have this change all the time. So you can start projects, you can definitely work on this different project without, you know, spending tons of money on premises. So that's what I may say one of the point number one, which is a return on investment, you know, for the university. no upfront investment, and definitely this flexibility. That's very important. Of course, the access to the latest technology is also key, because in this world of HPC, the last GPU, the last kind of memory, the last kind of access, it's very important. And if you run, on all premises, definitely you cannot have access to this latest technology. And one of the main differentiation that we have as well is that we, and I will show you some of the partners we are working with, are always aiming to have the latest technology. That's very important for us. Last but not least, the flexible configuration, the resource selection, that's this agility, make the fact that you pay only for what you use. And then you can ensure that you're optimizing your cost. And that's the three main reasons I may say, better ROI, faster time to results are very, very important. Next slide, Fred. So like I was telling you, I'm claiming, and we are recognized in the industry, and we have taken notice of all of this innovation. And in 2021, AWS and our HPC customers received 4 Reader Choice Awards. And on that year, we won 4 years in a row. AWS was voted by HPC Wire readers as the best HPC cloud platform. That's a recognition from the industry, and that's really give backup to my claim. And by the National Center of Supercomputing Application, we won the best use of HPC in a cloud award for how we use AWS to create COVID Shield. So definitely it was about the Saliva test that integrate with multiple healthcare system. And here again, we can prove that it's not only, HPC to do research only, but it's really with results. And then we have also, the top 5 vendors to watch. And finally, we received the best use of HPC in physical science, for our organization, like the Space Telescope Science Institute, Gemini Observatory. So we are really recognized in the industry. Next slide, please, Fred. So what kind of services? We have different services, and you all know, the computer networking, the management is also important, the storage is also important in HPC, and of course, the visualization, because you want to see what you research and what are the results, and on the batch processing. So here, maybe I can just tell you a little bit about this Elastic Fabric adapter, which is a network interface for our EC2, and so for our compute instances, and that's enable you to run application requiring high level of internet communication. And in the world of HPC, that's very important. So you can bypass, hardware interface, you can enhance the performance, and definitely it shows that and it's developed by AWS. So we can really, in this case, use at best the machine learning, the message passing interface, the communication library. And like I was telling you in my precedent experience in the renewable energy, that was really something that was amazing for us because we created results sometimes, in few weeks, while it could have taken years with some other solution. Next slide. So I was telling you, about our HPC partner community after the claim that we are recognized, but it's also because we are working, with fantastic partners. And I wanted to give you some of the names here, Intel, IBM, AMD, for instance, on the CPU side or GPU side. And that's what you can see on this presentation. And I think this presentation will be available for you. So definitely, we are not alone. We are working with the big name of the industry. We are partnering with the big name of industry, which allows us to be always, on the forefront, always with the latest technology. You all know NVIDIA and the kind of GPU they are building. And we have also, of course, consulting partner that can help you down your journey to go to the HPC. And we have a team, SA team or the partner team that will be definitely at your disposal to review any specific project at university level, proof of concept. That's also something that we can start. And again, you know, proof of concept, doing a proof of concept on HPC via the cloud, that's the best solution because there's no investment needed at the beginning. So you can do a proof of concept. If it really helped the university to move forward, you continue. If not, there was not upfront big investment to be able to do so. So that's a big strength. So the last 3 slides, and you know, I'm very sorry because I was telling you I'm traveling and I need to leave in 5 minutes, and you know, these team members that will be able to answer to questions at the end of an HPC. I wanted to share really 3 small slides about some experiment or experience. The first one is all about data. You know, at AWS, we are data driven. And if we claim things, we want to make sure that we can really prove it, and data is the best way to prove it. And on this specific slide, you know, which is about the US Naval Research Lab in terms of weather, you can see, and we'll share this information, that some of the solutions that we did improve are really very competitive, and we can lower the cost of the research and have definitely high resolution, you know, performance in comparison. That's very important. The next slide, it's about, you know, the drug discovery and all of the work that can be done. And I know that at university level, there are a lot of things happening, and that's also a domain that we want to be really at the forefront. And like I was telling you, we are data driven, and we are also always, you know, challenge, solution, benefits. And when you will have project, the team will always be with you to support you and say, you know, what are the challenges? How can we identify the challenge that you have, what you want to achieve? Then what is the solution to go after, you know, this challenge, and choose on the HPC the best compute possibility, the best storage together, so we can build an architecture on making sure that your HPC solution will be at the top of what needs to be done. And of course, you know, on the benefits. And here it's really a therapeutic use, you know, of the AWS services. And you can imagine that at this level, you know, it needs to be really at the top, because that's big investment and that's very important research. And last, you know, there is some example of what can be done, and definitely at university level. Again, on my own personal, you know, on this computer vision for autonomous vehicle, as well as renewable energy, was all about spin-off within PhD students going out of universities, and all of this domain that university can bring value is really on this slide, you know, about the graphics, the rendering, which are very important, the accelerating computing to replace sometimes real testing, so you can really all do it by virtual, and of course the high clock speed on GPU and CPU that are very important. So as it was, you know, requested, I wanted just to give you an highlight of the HPC on AWS to show you that it's very flexible, that it's really agile, which is very important, that there is no upfront cost or very heavy cost, I may say, to run on premises. And you can, you know, with us, start a journey on different projects, and we'll be your partner. So thank you for listening. I hope it was useful, and definitely this presentation will be available, and I will be available as well for different projects when I'm back to Middle East and Africa after my travel. Thank you very much.